Today is a really special dish.
And a story behind it.
So stay tuned because it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yes.
And we're back. My name is Anthony.
And I am Anna.
And together we're Italian cooking.
Unscripted.
Unscripted because everything we do is done with a pinch, a dash, or a handful, just like my mom used to make. On today's show, we are going to talk about lasagna. Why is my lasagna special? Because it comes with a story, a special story about my mom when she came to this country and how she made friendship with lasagna. Making lasagna depends really on whether you're going to end up making the dough yourself or if you're going to have store-bought dough, which is dried. Both are good. My preference is always to make the dough. Once we have that done, the next step is we've got to make the sauce. So the sauce takes a little bit of time because we need to do the old meat sauce. And you get your organic meats, your pork, veal, and beef together. That's going to be the base because you got to have some good taste. Layer that with sauce that has some texture and some really good taste. But you can make it vegan too. You layer it with different tastes, and maybe I'll tackle that in another show. So what do? We start with the garlic, the onions, and the carrots. So the garlic I crushed. The onions, my little trick, where I cut it this way, allows me to do little pieces. It's a lot of fun. And then I've got the carrots, which I cheat. I just don't have the time to chop carrots. Look at this, nice, you'll get that sweetness, no problem. Also, Harvest Show. We picked up some celery that my dad had. And so I said, let's just pick it up and let's just freeze it. We'll always need it. Mm-hmm. So and now I've got my soffritto right here, super fast. It's the base of the taste. You need to have that base of taste in order to make a good tasty sauce. So into a hot skillet. Not a skillet, sorry, a pot. And the reason I could be using the skillet for it in order to fry up the meat, but I'm gonna do it in this pot. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna remove it. Then I'll saute the soffritto, bring it all together. And now you've got the most beautiful base for a nice hearty sauce that's gonna be needed in order to keep that lasagna hydrated in the oven when we cook it with all the beautiful cheeses. So we put some oil in this is obviously a hot pan. We move it to the side because we know only 2 temperatures here.
Style.
Only 2 temperatures, but not for long because the meat was in there. So we take my mom's wooden spoon, multi-purpose wooden spoon. So Anna, come in here, my love, to show our friends what's happening here. Very simple. All we're doing is we've got the 3 meats in there. We're going to start to brown it. All right, so we have this meat that's cooking here. I already salted. Salt a little more, but you've got to put salt in that meat. Meat needs salt to bring out the flavor. Let that saute, and then that goes out. We do the soffritto, exactly, my love. We do the soffritto, and then we bring it all together, and then sauce in there, and that just goes in its own little heaven world. And then we get ready to start working on making the masterpiece of the lasagna to come together. This is coming along nicely. Now it's time for a little white wine. The economical one for cooking works very well. I find it changes the aroma by adding some alcohol in it, and also gives you, a little bit of time to scrape the roux at the bottom. This is done. Done for a sauce, because remember, this is going to cook in a sauce too.
So you put only salt, not any spice?
No, I put a pinch of pepper in it too, just for flavor, but really we're building the flavor in the sauce. And the meat is important. So go back in on high, add a little bit more oil in here, and now we can add all of it. Just put it all in there. I know the order story. I don't bother with it.
I have seen some other recipes that they put everything together. Meat and onion, garlic, and
You know, my love,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, I've seen it too. It's a way. I don't like that mixing. In the end, it all comes together, but I just have trouble with it. I like to do it separately. Get that in there. It'll calm down. Look how lovely this is.
I cannot go to
Can you smell it?
Oh my god.
It's very nice, yeah. I like putting the meat back in now because it's all cooked up and everything. The alcohol is burning out.
When you cook the meat before, I think it creates a kind of caramelize a little bit the meat.
It does.
Know, that it brings that taste.
It does. You're absolutely right, my love. So I like to mix this all up in here like this. Let it get some heat before we come in with sauce, right? Because it's going to cool it right down again. They'll get angry, then we'll calm it down again and say, now simmer there for. That's got to simmer. You know, if you get to an hour and a half, it's really, really nice. It makes a really nice, rich sauce for it. You need a lot of sauce in making lasagna. Do not shy from using sauce because it's necessary. So I put in 2 of these full jars in there to make a nice ragu for lasagna. I even have a couple of secret ingredients in my lasagna, which were a staple of my mom. Her lasagna was famous, and when my mother came to this country, I didn't come to this country. My mom ended up living and befriending a woman who was a French Canadian living beside us, and her name was Huguette, and she had a wonderful husband, Andre, and wonderful children. And it happened that they were both pregnant at the same time. Christiane was going to be born in August, and I was going to be born in November. And so they struck up a friendship. They would watch each other's baby. I mean, there's a lot of trust there for people that don't know each other. And this friendship grew. It grew out of this, the fact that they were neighbors. And what my mother started to do is she would make lasagna. And Andre, the husband of this Huguette, loved the lasagna. He absolutely adored my mother's lasagna. And they went on and did it for years, every year, at least 2 to 3 times a year, Christmas, Easter, and maybe even some other day. We'd get together in the summer and my mother would make the big lasagna that kept this friendship alive. It was so wonderful to see. And my mom's passed, but Huguette and Andre are still around. They're wonderful people. I want to really dedicate this dish, but also show our friends how important food is and spending time together and how it brings people together. But back to the lasagna. All right, we're ready. This part, super simple. Just put in the tomato sauce. There's a lot of meat in there, so it's going to be a meaty one. So we've got all the ingredients together, but now the magic has to happen on the stove with it simmering nicely. So I'm going to bring it up to a simmer. I'll show you what that simmer looks like. And maybe it's because I'm a little busy, but
salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper, very, very important. Take one of these ice cubes, which has some oil and it had the basil, right in there.
What is happening here? This is nicely simmering. And where is he? What are you doing there?
I'm relaxing.
You are having a break?
I am.
Did you ask the boss?
I have nothing to do. I really don't. I've made all the dough. I'm going to go back inside after, prepare some of the ingredients. Those ingredients are key because what goes between each layer in the lasagna is so important. So we're gonna spend some time on that. Meanwhile, I enjoy a little cigar. No bourbon yet. Not the time.
Hi, love.
Hello, my love. I had a very restful afternoon.
I can see.
I had a little cigar. I sat outside. I've got over here, my love, let's show this beautiful ragu. No words. That's ready. No words. It just sat there percolating. And then I put the water on. I got this all hot and angry because we're going to use this for the lasagna, for the actual dough sheets. The dough sheets are here, all nice and happy, the ones we did this morning.
Yes.
So these, we'll cut them and then we'll cook them. So what's lasagna? Basically it's dough, you put something in between, cheese, mozzarella, sauce, dough, cheese, mozzarella, sauce. Now everybody does things differently. That is I've seen it in different ways. My best friend, his mom, she made the best lasagna, according to Joe, with the little meatballs inside, which was fantastic and interesting. My mother did it a different way. So we're gonna do it my mom's way here, but I think all Italian moms' way of making lasagna is fantastic.
Amazing.
Because it is so many complex flavors that come together and the taste is always good, always good. So here's what I put in that's a little different. The lasagna made in the north of Italy uses bechamel sauce, which is flour and butter. And you kind of mix it together and you end up making some.
Flour, butter, and milk.
And milk,
Yes.
milk, exactly, my
Yes.
love. I have difficulty with it. It's not my thing. So I invented kind of my own. Here's what I do. I put in ricotta. I take half of this ricotta. Just a regular type of ricotta. Don't go for anything super fancy. And then after that, I end up taking some cheese. This one here is the Romano. Couple of handfuls there. Couple of handfuls of the Parmesan cheese. Don't need salt. Pepper. And then I milk to consistency that allows me to spread it. Now, why do I like this one? Because I find it tastes good. It really, really does. And it softens the layers. Really, really nice. And I like cheese in my lasagna, but it can't be like an overabundance of cheese. Everything kind of in moderation. See? Look at this concoction. Just a very simple concoction. There's nothing here. And if I...
Do you put more milk there?
No.
That's
Not more milk. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more Parmesan cheese because it's my favorite.
Romano is better.
I know we have this argument all the time, my love. This debate. It's not an argument. We don't argue. But it's the texture I love. And it's not complicated. So there it is.
Oh, so you started cutting.
I take my lasagna sheets and I make them like lasagna sheet store-bought. In a uniform size. And remember,
Look at the other one.
we had done them all this morning. Look how beautiful, look how beautiful, look how beautiful.
And then we have others here.
Yeah, I like the straightness of everything. One measurement.
It's dry, but it's not too dry.
Yeah. Some are a little softer depending on where it landed on the... But it's okay, we're not, if there's anything left over, we'll make something with it.
So you see those pieces there
Yes.
on the side?
Yes.
We don't throw anything.
No, we don't. They'll do one or two things. They'll be either filler in some cases,
Yeah.
or they'll be turned into pappardelle that we use for pasta e fagioli.
Exactly.
Remember on the pasta fagioli show? We put in a little bit of the homemade pasta. That's where I get it. I always have that in the freezer.
We love those pappardelles. Or any soup. You can add
Any
those.
soup, exactly. And the last one, I believe, right, darling?
Yes, it is the last one. Look at that.
Homemade lasagna. Voila.
Amazing.
Okay, so when we make lasagna, it's all in putting it together. That's really the key. We have the pasta dough that we did, the dough.
me see.
The sauce is here, cheese, mozzarella, the bechamel sauce that I make to put between the layers. And oh, what's that? That over here, that's ham, or it's capicola. That was my mom's secret. Not many people did it, but I know that there are places in Italy where they do put in some Italian cooked ham, or it could be capicola, one or the other. Anything that's kind of like a ham, put in there, thinly sliced, sparingly, not like all over the place, really imparts an amazing flavor. So what's the process? Watch this. A little bit of oil in the water. I lower the boil. I don't make it as wild. Put a couple of these in here.
So you only put them in and bring them out. That's it.
Almost
right?
put them in and bring them out. It gives me just a little enough time to start my first layer of lasagna. Sauce. Get a nice little coat down at the bottom. Gotta sit on something, so it'll sit on this.
Cool them.
Yeah, just to cool it just momentarily. And take it like this. Once we have it like that, and we can just layer. First layer is on. We could put a second layer, but let's take care of this. You see? Oh, I like to put a little bit of bechamel. So look, I grabbed that gabagool or gabagool.
Gabagool.
I grabbed that, put it in. Like I said, sparingly, not little pieces, just ripped up. Oh, they taste really, really good. A little bit of the mozzarella. Again, you see how I don't go heavy. I don't have a heavy hand.
Little bit of Romano, a little bit of
Yes, you put
Parmigiana.
a little bit of cheese. Once you're here, like this with that, I would just put a little bit of sauce. No rules here, no rules. Now, I think it's good to get the edges, because there's good, you don't want to have any dry spots, right? So this allows you to get it to the edges. You see? Very, 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 very logical. It's really about doing it delicately. Taking our time. Look at this. It's not a crazy boil. I don't want a crazy boil because it's homemade pasta, so it could take it. And I go slow. Now, what if this was dried pasta? Take it slow. The same way. Take it slow. Because if they end up going in there, they all stick together, it'll be the big frustration. I've been there. I have been there. So now I learned to do it slow. Other people may have other methods. Maybe it works for them. I couldn't find another method that didn't drive me bananas. This way, I take my time, not a problem. I lift them out. And I even put a little tray of cold water here.
Yes.
So I can cold water bath it just a little bit. Could
to
do
make
that
it
too.
easier to manipulate.
No problem. Exactly. Just to manipulate
to
it. 2
manipulate.
seconds. And it takes 2 seconds. And look, it's still nice and pliable.
Yes.
It works very, very nicely. It doesn't
Not
stick.
going, yeah.
And here we go. Oh, look at that. Look how nicely it goes down. Very beautifully.
Amazing.
And I love the symmetry too.
Amazing.
Okay, so let's go again. Change it up a little bit. Let's go more saucy here.
So you are putting the sauce
First, yeah. I like to, yeah. I don't like to do the bechamel everywhere. Because or else it gets a little too cheesy. For me, but hey, if you like it, bechamel it all up. And remember, this thing, when you cook it, boom, right?
It's going to grow.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The volume increases substantially. So you've got to be aware of it. Little bit.
So
of the
now you are
gabagool.
putting capicola.
That's right. Not so much. I'm not going to go crazy. I like just putting a little bit of the mozzarella. But again, I want to put more, put more.
One handful of mozzarella or a pinch.
Yeah, I do like almost like between a pinch and a dash, or a dash and a handful. I like to put a little cheese inside it. That really gives it good flavor. Look how easy. Now, take another sheet in calmness, in water that's not deathly boiling, that ends up ripping it apart.
And you repeat the same process.
I repeat the same process.
Layer
I just have fun.
after layer.
Yeah, I just have fun.
Good.
It's just fun doing it.
Good. Perfect.
So we're going to get it up all nice and high, and then we're going to come back and show you what it looks like before it goes in the oven. Last layer is on. I ran out of mozzarella, so I'm going to do it this way. No rules. And maybe a little bit of cheese.
Romano, please.
Both, yes, my love. I make sure that I make you very, very happy. A little bit more tomato here. Spread this around. I don't want any dry spots. My mother used to love the crusty dry spots. She used to love to eat the pasta that was off the side and turn crusty a little bit when it was a little dry. It was interesting. It was fun. Someone has to go in the oven. Oh yeah. Oh yes. We got this oven going. Nice and hot. I say about 45 minutes. My opinion.
So this is the lasagna finished. As Tony was saying, you see it went up to here.
It grew.
It grows.
Look at this beautiful spread. Isn't this wonderful? And we have a special guest tonight. My father who joins us at least 3-4 times a week during these times. It's a little tougher. So we have my dad over. We love to have him over. He's full of stories and stories about the old country and wisdom to impart to us still, even at this age. So it's a pleasure to have my dad with me today. Say hi, Dad. And so I made this beautiful lasagna, which we said at the beginning of the show was in honor of Huguette and André, the friends of my father and my mother. So this beautiful table in honor of them, in honor of my dad who joined us tonight. Anna, would you like to say something?
Well, thank you very much for following us. Subscribe, comment. You know, we want to know everything.
We've had some really, really wonderful commentary questions. It's a pleasure for us to answer you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you.